My precious child, stop right here. Do not scroll past these words because this moment was designed specifically for you. Before time itself was measured, before your first breath was taken, I knew this exact second would arrive when your eyes would meet this message. You did not find this by accident. I brought you here. I called your name across the noise of 1,000 distractions, and your spirit responded. You are here because I have something to tell you that cannot wait another day, something your heart has been aching to hear for longer than you realize. I have not forgotten you. I see the question that rises in your chest every morning, the one you are afraid to speak aloud. Does he still remember me? Am I too small, too broken, too far behind for his attention? You wonder if perhaps I have moved on to more important matters, to people who pray louder, believe stronger, or fall less often. You wonder if you have been quietly removed from my thoughts, set aside like something that no longer holds value, and that wondering has been tearing at your soul in ways you have not told anyone. But listen to me now with every fiber of your being. I have not forgotten you, not for a single moment, not for a fraction of a second. Do you remember what I said through the prophet Isaiah? Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands, not written with ink that fades, not recorded in books that can be lost engraved, carved into my very flesh. When I stretch out my hands, your name is there. When I reach down to lift you, I see you inscribed on the hands that hold you. This is not poetry. This is the depth of how permanently you exist in my consciousness. Type Amen if you receive this truth right now. The loneliness you carry is not invisible to me. I know what it feels like to wake up and realize that no one checked on you yesterday. I know the weight of going through celebrations surrounded by people yet feeling completely alone inside. I see you pretending to be fine when someone asks how you are doing, even though your heart is screaming that you are barely holding together. You have become so skilled at hiding your pain that even those closest to you no longer notice the shadows behind your smile. But I notice. I have always noticed. Remember Hagar, the servant woman abandoned in the desert? She had been used, discarded, sent away with nothing but a small provision of bread and water. She wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba until the water ran out, and she placed her dying child under a bush because she could not bear to watch him die. In that moment of absolute desolation, when she felt more forgotten than any human being could feel, she lifted up her voice and wept. And what happened? My angel called to her from heaven. I heard the boy crying, and I opened her eyes to see a well of water that had been there all along. She called me El Roi, the God who sees me, she said. I have now seen the one who sees me. My child, you are Hagar in this moment. You feel abandoned in a wilderness with your hope dying under a bush and no water left in your vessel. But I am El Roi. I am the God who sees you. I have heard your crying, and I am about to open your eyes to wells of provision that have been there all along, hidden just beyond your limited vision. You are not forgotten. You are seen by me, the God who never stops looking. Every tear that fell in the darkness of your room has been counted by me. Every prayer you whispered in desperation, thinking it went unheard, has echoed in the halls of my heaven. Every silent scream for help that you swallowed down rather than burden others with reached my ears the instant it formed in your spirit. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not invisible. The truth is, you have been on my mind more than you have been on your own. When you wake in the middle of the night with that hollow ache in your chest, I am already there beside you, whispering peace even when you cannot yet feel it. Leave a comment if you have ever felt invisible and are ready to be seen again. Now, let me tell you why you are reading these words at this precise moment. There is a shift happening in the spiritual realm that you cannot see but your soul can sense. The abandonment you have felt, the isolation that has pressed against your mind, the fear that you no longer matter, all of it is about to be confronted with a truth so powerful it will shatter every lie you have believed. You are entering a season where my presence will become undeniable, where my faithfulness will be proven in ways that leave no room for doubt. Think about Joseph. His own brothers threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. He was forgotten in a foreign land, falsely accused, thrown into prison and left there for years. When he finally interpreted the dream for Pharaoh's cupbearer and asked the man to remember him, the scripture says the cupbearer forgot him. For 2 more years, Joseph sat in that prison, completely forgotten by everyone who could have helped him. But here is what Joseph did not know. Every day he sat in that cell feeling abandoned. I was positioning him for a purpose so great it would save nations. The very people who forgot him would one day bow before him. The pit that was meant to destroy him became the pathway to his purpose. My child, you are Joseph in the prison. You feel forgotten by people who should have remembered you. You wonder why no one is coming to get you out, but I have not forgotten you. I am positioning you. Every day you have sat in this season of isolation, I have been preparing you for something so significant that when it unfolds, you will understand why the wait was necessary. The very people who overlooked you will see you elevated. The places that had no room for you will seek you out. What was meant to destroy you is being transformed into the platform for your greatest testimony. This is not wishful encouragement. This is a prophetic declaration over your life. I am the same God who carved your name into the palms of my hands before you knew how to speak your own name, and I am now moving heaven and earth to remind you of your worth. I am dispatching my angels to guard the parts of your heart that have been left vulnerable by disappointment. I am rearranging circumstances so that you will encounter my goodness in tangible, unmistakable ways. I am preparing people to cross your path who will see you, truly see you, and speak life into places that have only known neglect. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it because I am moving right now. My child, I need you to understand something that the enemy has worked tirelessly to hide from you. The reason you have felt forgotten is not because I moved away. It is because darkness tried to build a wall of lies between your heart and my voice. You have been under a targeted attack designed to convince you that you are insignificant, that your prayers bounce off the ceiling, that your pain does not move me. But let me show you what really happens when you pray. In the book of Daniel, there was a man who prayed for 21 days and heard nothing. No answer, no sign, no response. He could have easily believed he was forgotten. But on the 21st day my angel appeared and said something remarkable. From the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. The angel went on to explain that he had been fighting against the prince of Persia, a spiritual battle that delayed the answer but never canceled it. Daniel's prayers were heard the moment they were spoken. The answer was dispatched immediately, but there was warfare in the unseen realm that Daniel knew nothing about. This is your story too. Every prayer you have prayed has been heard by me. Every cry has reached my throne. The answer has already been dispatched. But there are battles happening in realms you cannot see, fights being waged over your destiny, over your breakthrough, over your future. The delay does not mean denial. It means there is a fight happening on your behalf. And just as my angel finally broke through to Daniel, your breakthrough is breaking through to you right now. The spiritual resistance is collapsing, the warfare is ending, and the answer that has been fighting its way to you is about to arrive. Type yes, Lord, if you feel my presence breaking through right now. Do you remember the day you almost gave up? I do. I remember the exact thought that crossed your mind, the despair that tried to convince you there was no point in continuing. I was there in that moment. I sent a song that made you pause. I placed a memory in your heart that reminded you of a time when you felt hope. I gave you just enough strength to make it through one more hour, and then another, until the darkness passed, and you could breathe again. Think about Elijah under the broom tree. This was a prophet who had just called down fire from heaven, who had seen miracle after miracle, who had stood boldly before kings. And yet after one threat from Jezebel, he ran into the wilderness, sat under a tree and prayed to die. He said, "I have had enough, Lord. Take my life." He felt completely alone, completely forgotten, completely finished. But what did I do? I did not rebuke him for his weakness. I did not lecture him about his lack of faith. I sent my angel to touch him and give him food. Then I let him sleep. Then I fed him again. And when he finally made it to the mountain, I did not show up in the earthquake, or the fire, or the mighty wind. I came in a gentle whisper. "My child, you are Elijah under the tree. You have fought battles that I applauded from heaven, and now you are exhausted, feeling like you cannot go on, wondering if anyone cares that you are breaking. But I am the God of the gentle whisper. I am not coming to condemn your weakness. I am coming to feed you, to let you rest, to restore your strength, and to whisper to you in the stillness that you are not alone. You have not been forgotten. You have been held through every moment of despair by me. A God who knows what it is to feel forsaken, and yet refused to let you go. My beloved, the pain of feeling forgotten runs deeper than most people understand. It is not just loneliness, it is the slow erosion of identity. When you feel unseen for long enough, you begin to question if you were ever worth seeing. When no one reaches out, you start to believe you are not worth reaching for. When your struggles go unnoticed, you convince yourself that your struggles do not matter. And layer by layer the lies build until you are living in a prison of invisibility, surrounded by people but utterly alone, crying out in a crowded room and hearing nothing but silence. But here is what I want you to know. Even when you feel invisible to everyone around you, you are radically visible to me. King David understood this. He wrote, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you." Comment, I am never alone, if this is breaking through to your heart. Do you see it? There is nowhere you can go where I am not. No depth of despair where I cannot reach you. No darkness so thick that it hides you from my sight. You may feel forgotten by people, but you are constantly, continuously, overwhelmingly seen by me, the God who made you, and not just seen in a passive way, like someone glancing at you and moving on. Seen in the way a father watches his child, with attention, with affection, with a readiness to intervene the moment you need me. Now listen carefully, my child, because I want to show you something you have not been able to see. The times in your life when you felt most forgotten were actually the times when I was doing my deepest work in you. I know that sounds impossible. I know your mind wants to argue that if I truly cared, I would have prevented the loneliness, stopped the abandonment, spared you the pain of feeling invisible. But there are things I am building in you that can only be forged in the fire of solitude. Moses learned this in the desert. He spent 40 years on the backside of a mountain, herding sheep, completely forgotten by the people of Egypt who once knew him as a prince. 40 years of obscurity. 40 years of wondering if his life would amount to anything. 40 years of silence. But in that desert, I was stripping away his pride, his self-reliance, his need for human validation. I was transforming a man who tried to deliver Israel in his own strength into a man who could be used to deliver Israel in mine. The wilderness was not wasted time, it was preparation time, and when the burning bush finally appeared, Moses was ready to hear my voice because the desert had taught him to listen. You have been in the wilderness, my child, not as punishment, but as preparation. The season of feeling forgotten has been purifying your motives, refining your identity, and anchoring your soul in something that cannot be shaken by human opinion. I am transforming you into someone who no longer needs the applause of crowds because you have learned to hear my approval from heaven. Someone who is not devastated by rejection because you know you are accepted by me, the only voice that ultimately matters. Leave amen in the comments if you are holding on to my promises. And my child, those blessings are closer than you think. The relationships that will see you and value you are already being prepared by me. The opportunities that will honor your gifts are already taking shape. The peace that will replace the ache of loneliness is already on its way. Remember the story of Ruth. She was a widow in a foreign land with nothing to her name. She felt invisible, gleaning in the fields just to survive, picking up the leftover grain that no one else wanted. But what she did not know was that the owner of that field, Boaz, had already noticed her. He had already instructed his workers to leave extra grain for her. He had already determined to protect her and provide for her. She thought she was invisible, but she was seen. She thought she was forgotten, but she was remembered. And the man who noticed her became her kinsman redeemer, the one who restored everything she had lost. My child, I am your Boaz. You think you are invisible, gleaning in the corners, picking up scraps, just trying to survive. But I have already noticed you. I have already instructed my angels to leave blessings in your path. I have already determined to protect you and provide for you. You are not forgotten, you are seen, and I am your kinsman redeemer, the one who will restore everything the enemy tried to steal from you, your hope, your peace, your sense of belonging, your ability to trust. All of it is being restored right now in this moment, as you receive these words into the deepest parts of your spirit. But before we get there, I need to address something you have been carrying that you should not be carrying. You have been blaming yourself for the loneliness. You have been replaying your past, analyzing your flaws, wondering what you did wrong to end up feeling this forgotten. My child, stop, put that weight down. Even my son Jesus experienced this. On the cross, in his darkest hour, he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" My own son felt the agony of abandonment, not because he was defective, not because he failed, but because there are moments in the human experience where the feeling of being forgotten is part of the journey. But here is what you need to know. That cry from the cross was not the end of the story. 3 days later, the tomb was empty. What looked like total abandonment was actually the pathway to total victory. What felt like the end was actually the beginning. The darkest moment gave birth to the greatest miracle. And the same is true for you. This season where you have felt forgotten is not the end of your story. It is the setup for your greatest breakthrough. The isolation you endured is about to give birth to a testimony so powerful that others will find hope in it. Share this video with someone who feels forgotten so they can receive this message too. I want to speak now to the specific pain you carry. The pain of being in rooms full of people and still feeling like no one truly knows you. The ache of watching everyone else seem connected while you stand on the outside. The exhaustion of always being the one who reaches out first, who initiates, who tries to keep relationships alive while feeling like no one would notice if you stopped. I see that. I feel that, and I want you to know that even in that pain you are mirroring something of my own experience. Do you know that I understand loneliness? When I walked the earth as Jesus, I moved among people who did not understand me. I invested in disciples who fell asleep when I needed them most. I was betrayed by someone I called friend. I was denied by someone I called rock. I stood trial alone while everyone scattered. I carried my cross through streets filled with people, and not one of them truly understood what I was doing or why I was doing it. I know what it is to be surrounded and yet utterly alone, and because I know, I can meet you in that place with a compassion that goes beyond human understanding. The longing you feel for deep connection is not weakness. It is a reflection of how I created you. You were made for community, for intimacy, for relationships where you are fully known and fully loved. But here is what I need you to understand. Human relationships, no matter how beautiful, will always fall short of the perfect love you are truly searching for. If you keep looking to people to fill the void that only I can fill, you will live in a constant state of disappointment. But if you let me fill that void first, if you let me be the source of your worth, your identity, your security, then human relationships become a beautiful addition rather than a desperate necessity. This is what I have been teaching you in the loneliness, that I am enough, that my love does not waver based on your performance, that my presence does not withdraw when you fail, that my attention does not drift when you are not at your best. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother. I am the father who runs to meet you while you are still far off. I am the shepherd who leaves 99 to find the one. I am the love that never runs out, never grows cold, never finds someone better. Type I trust you, Lord, if you are ready to let me be enough. My beloved child, there is one more thing I need to say before we close this moment together. I know you have been waiting for a sign that I still see you. You have been asking for proof that you still matter. You have been searching for evidence that I have not moved on and left you behind. And so I want to make this very clear. This message, these words, this exact moment in time where your eyes are reading this sentence, this is your sign. Remember Gideon. He was hiding in a winepress, threshing wheat in secret, convinced that I had abandoned Israel, and my angel appeared and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon's response was, "If the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about? Has not the Lord abandoned us?" He felt forgotten. He felt abandoned. He needed a sign, and I gave him one. Not just one sign, but multiple signs. The fleece that was wet while the ground was dry. The fleece that was dry while the ground was wet. Sign after sign until Gideon could believe that I had not forgotten him. "My child, if you need a sign, I will give you one. This message is your fleece. This moment is your confirmation. The fact that you are here, reading these words, feeling the stirring in your spirit, this is me reaching through the noise and the doubt and the pain to grab hold of your heart and remind you that you are mine. You did not stumble onto this by chance. I orchestrated it. I made sure it found you at the exact moment you needed it most. So do not dismiss this as just another message. Do not shrug it off as random content. Receive it for what it truly is. A love letter from me, the God of the universe, to a child I have never stopped thinking about. An interruption in your day designed to break the cycle of lies that have been playing in your mind. A divine appointment where I lean down from heaven to whisper the truth your soul has been desperate to hear. I have not forgotten you. I see you. I know you. I love you. And I am about to prove it in ways that will leave no doubt. Comment, "Yes, Jesus," if you are ready to receive everything I have for you. The breakthrough is already in motion. The connections you need are already being aligned by me. The healing you have been praying for is already taking root. The season of feeling invisible is ending. The chapter of loneliness is closing, and what is opening in its place will restore everything the enemy tried to steal from you. So here is what I need you to do. Stop rehearsing the lies. Stop replaying the moments of rejection. Stop measuring your worth by who remembered you and who did not. Instead, start declaring the truth. Say this with me: I am seen by El Roy, the God who sees me. I am engraved on the palms of his hands. I am positioned like Joseph for a purpose greater than my pain. I am being prepared like Moses in the wilderness. I am noticed like Ruth in the field. I am loved like the one sheep the shepherd left everything to find. I am never forgotten. I am never alone. I am held by the God who knows my name and has never once looked away. Say it out loud until your spirit believes it more than your mind doubts it. Let the truth become louder than the lies. Let my voice drown out every other voice that has told you that you do not matter. And as you do this, watch what happens. Watch how the loneliness begins to lift. Watch how peace starts to settle where anxiety used to live. Watch how the right people start showing up at the right time. Watch how your perspective shifts and you start seeing my fingerprints all over your life. I have not forgotten you, my child. I never could. You are engraved on my heart, written into my plans, woven into my purposes, and nothing, not your past, not your mistakes, not your doubts, not your struggles, nothing can change that. You are mine, and I am bringing you into a season where that truth becomes the foundation of everything you are and everything you do. The isolation ends here. The feeling of being overlooked stops now. The ache of invisibility is being replaced with the unshakable knowledge that I, the God who holds the stars, know your name and have never once looked away. Receive this, believe this. Let it sink into the core of who you are. Because this is not just a message. This is a moment of divine intervention. This is me reaching from heaven into your reality to remind you of what has always been true. You are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are remembered. And you are about to walk into the fullness of everything I have prepared for you. Trust me, stay close. Keep believing. Your story is not over. It is just beginning, and the best chapters are right in front of you.